Belgro's Funeral Home, where we celebrate life's precious moments. From the moment you enter our doors, you're met with kindness and care. Our reception area is designed to be more than just a waiting room. It is a place of calm, thoughtfully created to ease the weight of grief. In our private conference room, conversations are guided by empathy. Here, our client experience coordinators sit beside you, not just across the table, to help plan a service that truly reflects your loved one's story. Whether it's a traditional farewell or a personalized celebration of life, we take time to understand your wishes and offer thoughtful guidance. At the heart of our organization is a dedicated manager who ensures that everything runs smoothly, from the smallest detail to the final farewell. We understand that choosing a casket or a coffin is a deeply personal decision. In our selection room, we provide a calm, respectful environment where families can take their time and explore options that reflect their loved one's life, beliefs, and preference. Our spacious chapel is where memories are honored and lives are celebrated. Designed with serenity and warmth, it provides a welcoming space for families and friends to come together in reflection and remembrance. For families choosing cremation, we offer on-site professional cremation services in a setting that upholds dignity, peace, and confidentiality. Our crematorium offers a seamless and respectful alternative to traditional burial, giving families flexibility while maintaining the highest standard of care.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning and welcome to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television. It is Tuesday, the 16th day of September 2025, and we're coming to you live from the Port Mall here in Scarborough, Tobago. I am Adana Kambi. This is the day that the Lord has made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it.
Good morning, and my name is Akin Beholder, and it's good to be here in the land of the living. Adana, another day, another chance to achieve all the things that you want to achieve, another chance to give God the praise and thanks for letting you see another day, to be a blessing unto others, Adana.
That's right, that's right. And you know, yesterday it was the 15th and we didn't do the countdown. We're like halfway through September. The 15th day of September, we have 14 more to go.
Yes.
And as you get into the months that end with BER, you're getting closer to the festive season, and we have already seen things happening in Tobago space. We know we have the October Carnival coming up, and then you're gonna start hearing Christmas music and Christmas songs, and you're gonna be getting invitations to events centered around the festive Yuletide season. So that's coming up soon, ladies and gentlemen. Are you ready? Are you prepared? What are your pockets looking like? Let's start there, and let's be realistic with the things that we want to achieve for this Yuletide season. For me, once there's food in the house and the children get gifts, I'm good to go. What about you?
For me, I think I've never been big on this whole Christmas celebration kind of thing. But like you said, once there's food in the house, the children have gifts, and you're present with family, I can spend that time together. I think that's worth it.
That's right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we do have a wonderful show lined up for you this morning, and we do hope that you could stay with us throughout the entire programming. But before we head on to those conversations, we head on over to the news in 90 seconds.
Thank you, Adana. Here is your news in 90 seconds for Tuesday, 16 September 2025. Tobago motorists are being urged to brace for significant changes as a revamped traffic system is introduced at the Killigrew intersection. Starting today at midday, new traffic measures will take effect, including a fourth leg via Dr. Winston Murray Boulevard, restrictions on right turns, and revised routes through Dr. Jeffrey Davidson Roundabout. No right turns or through traffic will be allowed across Killigrew Road North and South, while access to the Old Storby Road will be redirected through the roundabout. Additional restrictions along Cane Farm Road and Friendship Extension aim to reduce congestion and improve safety. An official opening ceremony will be held today to commission the upgrade intersection. Up next, with just weeks before the Tobago Carnival panorama, Steel Explosion faces a funding crisis after the National Gas Company, NGC, abruptly ended its sponsorship. The cut, which also affected Couva Joylanders and Labrador Nightingales, left Steel Explosion scrambling to raise funds for upcoming panorama competitions. Administrative Officer Kimberly Carrington Scope said the ban, which cost up to $350,000 to prepare, received a notice and no clear explanation. Former Energy Minister Stuart Young condemned the move, while Culture Minister Michelle Benjamin pledged government support for youth in the steel pan movement. Despite setbacks, Steel Explosion vows to perform, urging community and corporate backing to keep its players on the stage. And finally, rising tensions in the Southern Caribbean escalated yesterday as U.S. President Donald Trump confirmed a second strike on a suspected Venezuelan drug vessel, killing 3 narcotic terrorists. However, President Nicolas Maduro accused Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar of repeating Washington's agenda and making almost a declaration of war. Maduro questioned the authenticity of the September 2nd video of the first strike and demanded a White House probe, warning that U.S. influence threatens the historic brotherhood between Venezuela and Trinidad and Tobago. And that was your news in 90 seconds.
Thank you, Biana, for our news there in 90 seconds. Ladies and gentlemen, we head on over to our birthday shoutouts. And we start off the birthday celebrations by saying happy birthday to Mr. Ainsley Moses of Lambo, Tobago, from his sister-in-law, Roxanne. Happy birthday to you, Ainsley. We do hope that you have a wonderful, amazing birthday today, and we pray God's blessings upon your life.
And we say happy birthday to Mr. Junior Valdez. Yes, happy birthday to you, Mr. Valdez. God's richest blessings on your birthday. May He guide you and keep you throughout the upcoming year. And everything that you set your heart and your mind to, you would achieve it with the power of the Almighty. Happy birthday to you.
And finally, we say happy birthday to Miss Giselle Fraser. Giselle Fraser is celebrating a birthday today, and we say happy birthday to you. And we do hope that as you enter this new season and this new chapter of your life, that you walk in peace, love, joy, and harmony, and may the Almighty God continue to bless you. So happy birthday to you. And of course, if you are celebrating a birthday, whether or not we have your photographs, we still join in the celebration with you and we remind you to put God first, because He is the sole reason why there's anything for you to celebrate. Akinlabi, who are we having conversations with this morning in studio?
Well, Adana, this morning we're having conversations with Anjuli Tewa, who is the manager of the foster care unit at the Children's Authority of Trinidad and Tobago, and Natasha Jones, who is a former foster parent. And they're coming to talk about foster care awareness. And then up next, we have Larry Paul and Hector Trim, who are committee members, and they are going to be talking about the Anglican Church's Family Day. And finally up, we have John Prokop, who's a professional swimmer, and they'll be talking about the upcoming swim around Tobago.
Very, very interesting. And viewers, of course, we do hope that you could stay with us throughout the entire programming this morning. And remember, you can be a part of the conversation. You can leave your comments on our Facebook live stream or our YouTube channel at Tobago Updates. We want to hear from you. We want to hear your opinion, and we want to know the questions that you want to ask. But before we get into all of those conversations, of course, we have to go for a short break. And as we go, we invite you to help us.
Share the live, share the live, share the live.
We'll be right back.
How it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look up below. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO, and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
Hair goals, we've got them. At S&R Hair Fantasy, we provide a wide variety of quality hair, the latest hair accessories, adult toys, skin lightening products, female underwear, and much more under one roof. Check us out on Shelbourne Street in Plymouth or call us at 317-0808. We're open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. S&R Hair Fantasy, for queens who know exactly what they want.
Are you in a dispute with a registered investment service provider of the TTSEC? Or maybe you're the victim of an investment scam? You can lodge a complaint or submit an anonymous tip to the Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission. Download our Investor Protection app or go to ttsec.org.tt to access our complaint form or submit an anonymous tip. Write a clear summary of your complaint. Submit copies of supporting documents along with the originals for verification. Provide a copy of the feedback received from the entity regarding your complaint. All investor complaints or scam reports submitted by the public are acknowledged and reviewed by the TTSEC. Investigations are pursued based on the outcome of the review. Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission, protecting the interests of investors and the public. You invest, we protect. Everyone benefits.
Welcome to Tobago Glass Supplies Limited, where innovation meets excellence and service reigns supreme. Our commitment is simple: to provide high-quality, innovative aluminum, vinyl, and glass solutions for both commercial and residential spaces. At TGSL, we don't just meet needs, we exceed expectations. Our range includes the finest aluminum cladding options, setting new standards in durability and style. Driven by our passion to elevate, we aim to be the leading supplier in the Caribbean market while retaining our identity as a family-owned business. Because at Tobago Glass Supplies Limited, it's not just about products. It's about relationships, it's about you. Innovation, quality, service. That's Tobago Glass Supplies Limited.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television, and thank you so much for staying with us. We begin conversations this morning by speaking with Anjuli Tiwa, manager of the foster care unit at the Children's Authority of Trinidad and Tobago, and Natasha Jones, former foster parent. And this morning we are talking about foster care awareness. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Thanks so much for having us.
Of course, a pleasure having you here with us this morning to go through the very, very important conversation that I don't think gets enough airtime, and we're talking about foster care. So tell us, as we get into the conversation, just give us an overview and a definition of what foster care is.
Sure. So whenever I start talking about foster care, I always start by saying it is not adoption. A lot of people mix up the two, so we really want to stress that foster care is a temporary placement option. So when it is that a child needs to be removed because they're being neglected, abused, they've experienced trauma or violence, the Children's Authority needs safe spaces to place them. And that's where foster families come into play. They provide that safe, stable, temporary environment while we're working with their families in the background to see if we can eventually place children back with their families. Adoption is permanent, and that is different because it requires consent and the court get involved. So it is very different, two different processes.
Mm-hmm. And when you mentioned, just for clarification, you mentioned that for adoption you need consent, but for foster care it's a little bit more relaxed. So just define that specific difference, because
Sure.
I'm thinking that you still have to have some measure of consent for foster caring. So just go through that part of it for the sake of me, for my sake, and of course for the viewers.
No problem. So both are legal processes, but in order for a child to stay permanently in care, it requires parents to give up their consent, and it goes through this is for adoption, and the court sort of releases that child for adoption to be permanently sort of incorporated into that adoptive family. Whereas foster care, it still goes through a legal process. It still is a court matter. Parents are still involved, but they're actively engaged with the court. They aren't sort of giving up consent for their child. They're giving permissions for that child to be in that temporary placement. So it is still a court matter. It's still a legal matter. It's still legislatively mandated and guided.
All right. And in terms of becoming a foster parent, because I know it's a voluntary thing, what are the requirements? What is the process? How does one become a foster parent? And is there like a list? Is there a waiting list? Do you get to select the person who is coming to your home? How does that work?
So as you can imagine, if a child is coming from a space of danger or sort of, a risky situation, we want to ensure that the places that we put them are safe spaces. So that really involves us doing our vetting process. It is legally mandated. At the end of the day, we want to make sure we're screening patients thoroughly before we place a child into that home. It is a process, and we'll go through with you with regards to, it involves background checks, home assessments, in-depth interviews, psychological assessments. These processes can take at minimum maybe about 3 to 4 months, but it's helping persons to understand the reason we go through this process is because we want to make sure that the homes that we place children in are safe. So it really is asking persons to contact us, making sure foster care is right for you. There is no waiting list per se, because at the end of the day, when children come to the attention of the authority, it's an ongoing process. If they aren't able to come into foster care, we do have to look at alternative placement options. But letting the public know that before we even come to foster care, we do explore family options first. It's only when we aren't able to locate family members, then we turn to options such as foster care or children's homes.
Ms. Tiwa, we're talking about foster care here, and I just want to find out how pervasive is foster care. Do we have a plethora of families willing to undergo this service, or do we have a huge shortage and we need to get more families involved in this kind of practice?
So we definitely have a shortage at the moment, and that's why we're really encouraging persons to open their hearts and homes. On a daily basis, we get calls for placement in foster care, in particular for older children. As you can imagine, a lot of persons do gravitate towards younger children and babies. We really do have that shortage. We're really trying to understand what are the barriers that make persons not want to apply for foster care. We want to encourage persons. We actually do have a survey on at the moment. If you log on to our website, www.ttchildren.org, you can actually participate in our survey to help us understand what are the barriers, what is preventing you from taking this chance.
And Ms. Jones, as a former foster parent, could you speak towards the rewarding nature of taking up such an endeavor of giving such human service?
Well, we are saying it's human service, but our grandparents and our great-grandparents did this without reservation. They took people's children in without, I'm sure you know that you have cousins that weren't really your blood cousins. It's just that your grandparents kept them. It was just that it takes a village to raise a child. And I think that for me personally, I felt that a lot has been given to me as a child of two parents that stayed together, that were good providers. And it was only natural for me to want to do this. And we've all, most of my family's always done that. We've always opened our homes. So it wasn't something that felt so different. But I always say that there's so many rewards. There's reciprocity and giving, because you always receive the most amazing miracles. And I was really, my family and I have truly, truly seen that. We've been testament to that.
And Ms. Jones, staying with you in terms of, fostering children, of course, they'll be in your home for a certain period of time. And of course, a relationship will be established. They will share things with you that they probably might not share, with their parents or whoever else. How is the transition in terms of when the child is not ready to be placed back into their natural home or with their family? How is that period of transition for both you and the child?
Well, the thing about it is foster caring for me means giving and not keeping. The Children's Authority was very clear with me, because I could get a little possessive. They were very clear with me that this is very different to adoption. Adoption and fostering are two different entities. And every time I got a little too, mouthy about what I want for my child, it was always, Natasha, this child is going to one day be returned, hopefully, to the parents. The parents were actively involved as well with my baby. I had a 2-month-old baby who I fostered until she was 2 years old. It was very difficult for me. But the thing about it is I knew it would be difficult for her as well, but that one day she will forget, because how many of us really remember what happened the first 2-3 years of our lives? But I actively spent time preparing her to be reintegrated, because I got her involved in a lot of activities outside of the home with me, and out, like in a school at times, in gymnastics, so that she realized that the world was bigger than just the two of us. I had a really great community of friends that also were vetted by Children's Authority and that were there because I was also working. So there were also people that were involved in her life that really, really, we were all very, we were traumatized when she left, but we were aware that this was going to happen. And the thing about being an adult is that we are able to process things. Children's Authority also offered us psychological care as well, support. And two of my friends actually took that. I mean, I met her, but I was prepared already to release. And even though she's released from my home, she's never released from my heart. And I do keep in touch through the caseworker. They keep me abreast of how she's doing. They send pictures to me every now and again, and I get to send gifts as well. So there is that relationship from afar, but you can imagine for confidentiality purposes, we are not in touch. And the reason that I have come out of being an active foster parent is so that I can share this story, because a lot of people don't even realize that we have fostering in Trinidad and Tobago. So the only way that I could tell this story, share my journey, is to, get out of fostering for a while.
Ms. Jones, we spoke about the shortage of foster parents in Trinidad and Tobago. In your experience as a former foster parent, and in conversations you may have had with other persons, what are some of the barriers you think are stopping people from really participating?
Well, when I talk to people and now sharing my stories, people spend a lot more time saying, wow, what an amazing thing you're doing, which is not the response I really want. Because to me, I'm not doing anything different to a lot of other amazing foster parents here in Trinidad and Tobago who foster 3 and 4 children at a time. I had a baby for 2 years. I think when I speak to my friends, the most they say is that they're afraid of letting go, that, I couldn't do this because I think I'll get too attached. The thing about it is that there are children really in need. And the reason that I got involved was there was a friend of mine who was she was a lawyer for Children's Authority. And during COVID, you remember all of us were on Zoom. We had all these group meetings and group friendships, and we had a great time. But one of my friends who was the lawyer for Children's Authority, 11 o'clock in the night, she'd mute her microphone, and you would see her looking so distressed. And when she came back onto the group chat, we'd say, well, what happened? And she said, Natasha, they just took 2 children out of a home. There was a lot of domestic issues and challenges that happened around COVID. People were losing their jobs. People were afraid. People were stuck with people that they didn't really like. So there was a lot of domestic disharmony. So that's when I was I guess, called to do this. And so this is why I would tell people there are a lot of children that need a place, just for an interim. You may not want to have someone for the rest of your life. Like me, I have 2 children of my own. They're adults. So it's not that I wanted to have and keep a child, despite the fact that I knew that I would get attached, because when I go into something, I give in it everything. But I wanted to be able to give a parent or family an opportunity to catch themselves, to become the parents that their children deserve, so that we also, as Trinbagonians, have a better community. We have to really no longer sit on the sidelines and point fingers and say, why is that 16-year-old child pregnant? We say to ourselves, how can I help this 16-year-old child so that she has an opportunity to be a provider for her child? So these are the things that I think should motivate us. The world feels as though it's no longer a kind space. And I think that if we want to see kindness, it starts with us.
Ms. Kewa, when you look at the first... Sorry, my apologies. When you look at the situation with foster care, and let us look at the Tobago instance. So you take the child out the house and you put them with a foster parent, but Tobago's a really small space, and maybe the child needs that distance, that space from the family. But Tobago is such a small space, they know where the child's staying, they're probably breaking the court orders, visiting the child. How does the Children's Authority deal with that to make sure that there's that distance, that space between the family and the child to bring resolution to the issues?
So I'm glad you actually raised that because it is true. Both Trinidad and Tobago, small Tobago is even smaller. But we do try, especially in contentious cases, to try to place the child as far away from the potential alleged perpetrator or the abuse, In certain instances, it may be very difficult because of the size of Tobago. But I will say that we have about 9 to 10 children in Tobago, and we've been able to manage it quite well because at the end of the day, these children do go before the court. The placement is guided by a court order. So if parents do sort of breach that court order, they risk sort of being able to see their child. They're sort of breaching what the court mandated. So because we are guided by the court and sort of, monitored by the court, and we report to the court about the safety of the child and how the child has been progressing, that has sort of protected us with regards to that safety issue. Because as Natasha said, we do try our best as possible to maintain the confidentiality of our foster parents. So both parents and foster parents do not intermingle. Any sort of visits with children take place at the offices of the Children's Authority or because the Children's Authority have facilitated those visits.
Mm-hmm. I know, Mr. Wari, we're talking about, it really does take a village to raise a child. And Natasha, you touched on that quite a lot in terms of your service and the fact that you're calling on people in communities across Trinidad and Tobago to open their homes and their hearts, to give some relief to parents and also to support children who need the type of care that will come from foster caring. But Mr. Wari, I want to talk a little bit now about the legal aspect of things, in terms of what is the actual process. How does one determine if a child needs to be in that type of care? Who is the person that determines this, and what is the process to get them into foster caring?
So there are many reasons why a child might come into foster care. And, we're not just talking about, so foster care isn't open to everybody. A child needs to be at risk of sort of care and protection issues. They need to be sort of in an instance where they may be in danger, and we have to remove them from that danger. If it is, as I said earlier, we can actually place them with a family member. When the Children's Authority are called out, usually we're accompanied by the police, sometimes depending on how contentious the issue is. When we do our investigations and we determine that a child cannot remain where they are, we do sort of investigate whether there are other family members who can step forward. If it is that there are no family members who've come forward, then we look at care options. So at the end of the day, it's not just any child where a parent needs a break from their child, or I can't deal with this child anymore. It has to be that the child is meeting our sort of threshold of care and protection concerns.
And then you go through the legal process in terms of going before the court to ensure that the legal measures are put in place to ensure the safety of the child.
So once a child comes into foster care, we actually do go to court. We apply for a court order, which sort of guides that process. And we return to the court to sort of state how the child has progressed in foster care, how their parents are actively working with us or not working with us. So the court can then determine whether that child can be considered to be returned. A lot of persons think, it's the Children's Authority making these decisions. At the end of the day, if it is that the court deemed that a child needs to be removed, parents and birth families do need to work alongside us, take the recommendations for the court, whether it's for parenting, whether it's finding a job, finding a stable accommodation. There are things that the court has outlined that the parent or both families have to do in order for that child to be returned. So a lot of the times, the Children's Authority, we do get sort of painted as the bad guys. But at the end of the day, there is a process. There's a reason why a child was removed. And we want to make sure that it's safe before that child can be returned.
And, for our viewers who are listening this morning who might, the awareness is now there that, I have a space, I have a home, I have the time, I have the heart, and I am willing, to lend myself in that way to somebody who really needs the help. How can they get more information in terms of the process and also the pool of persons that might need the type of support? Because there are people on the outside who might not even know that there are people who need a safe place just for a couple months, perhaps a year. How do they get that information to avail themselves for this type of service?
So we ask persons to give us a call on 627-0748, extension 40988, or they can email us at fostercare@ttchildren.org, or even go on our website where you can download an application package. It's www.ttchildren.org. But we really do ask that you contact us, because at the end of the day, we want to know if foster care is right for you. We want to make sure to give you the information so you can make an informed sort of, action item. Is this for me? Can I commit to this process? Am I able to say goodbye? We really want to ensure that we get the right persons. We manage your expectations. We hold your hand through the process. Once a child is placed in your care, we don't just leave you on your own to figure this out. We provide training. We give you psychosocial counseling. At the end of the day, we're here with you. We're creating that team around the child.
Absolutely necessary. Again, I'll go back to the fact that it really does take a village to raise a child, and sometimes you don't know what somebody is going through, and it sounds to me as if foster care is not just for the child. While the child needs to be removed from the space, sometimes, as Natasha said, sometimes the parents might just need some time to get back mentally in a space that is, acceptable to raise their child, and to create that environment of safety for the child as well. So of course we do applaud the efforts of the Children's Authority right now for bringing this type of awareness, and for the persons who have opened their homes. And we're calling on, let me just put this plug out there for you, Mr. Wari, we're calling on persons who have interest, or you probably might not have heard about it before. You need to check out the information with the Children's Authority to see if this is a right fit for you. You might know somebody who, can do well with fostering somebody. Put them on to the information, and let's get this out there. And, in closing, is there anything else you'd like to share with our viewers this morning?
We just want to say, give it a thought. Trinidad can really need your help. At the end of the day, we can make a difference in a child's life, even if it's temporary.
Absolutely. And Natasha, any closing comments from you?
I just think, foster parenting is really it's a service that I think is really needed in Trinidad and Tobago, a place where we can open our hearts and our homes to others and ensure that there's that we can be the bridge that can help these children to grow up to be citizens that are contributing. Because no longer can we judge people on the same rubric that we all judge ourselves. Everybody has a different base that they started at. Some of us were given a lot more, some of us weren't. So let's be our brother's keeper, our sister's keeper. Let's be a Trinidad and Tobago that we really want to see. And no longer, it starts with all of us. So if you have a genuine interest and a genuine, calling to do this, or just even a curiosity, the process is pretty stringent. So you will just get in touch with Children's Authority. And also, Anjali was just talking about a survey, which I didn't know about. Go on that survey, because it would help Children's Authority to understand what the gaps are, so that we can fill the gaps, so that we'll have more interest in foster parenting and adoption here in Trinidad and Tobago.
Thank you so very much, ladies. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been speaking with Anjali Tiwari, manager of the foster care unit at the Children's Authority of Trinidad and Tobago, and Miss Natasha Jones, a former foster parent. Thank you, ladies, so very much, and do have a wonderful, wonderful day. All right, ladies and gentlemen, up next we have Mr. Larry Paul and Mr. Hector Trim. They are committee members of the Anglican Church, and they're coming to talk about the Anglican Church Family Day here in Tobago. So do stay tuned for that conversation. In the meantime, we have to go for a short break, and as we go, we invite you to help us.
Share the live, share the live, share the live.
We take charge.
Squid, welcome, man.
Always the scene. A Rich Junior, you know your shows, this be the most.
Rink or sink, it's real simple. So we're gonna ask a particular question, and if he answers, he doesn't have to drink. Right? If he answers, you sink.
What kind of questions this is?
Easy thing. Destra or Fian?
No.
Destra or Fian? Now that one really little. It's tight. That's
what's going on. Here what's going on.
Right.
I don't know.
With Flow Business's new smart solutions, powered by super fast, reliable broadband, you'll feel like there are more versions of you working for you. From website design, development, and digital marketing to promote your business, 24/7 business class support to cloud solutions, security, and more. Multiply your growth today.
Coconut Cafe. Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television, and thank you so much for staying with us. Guess what? We have the photo of the day. The photo of the day. Can you guess where in Tobago this photo was taken? It was submitted by Sergeant Emmanuel York. Thank you, Sergeant York, for sending in this photo. But can you tell what part of Tobago, the island of Tobago, this photo was taken? Of course, you can leave your comments on our Facebook and our YouTube channels. And we will give you the answer at the end of the program. In studio with me, and we're about to have conversations this morning with Mr. Larry Paul and Mr. Hector Trim. They are both committee members, and this morning we're talking about the Tobago Anglican Family Day. Good morning, guys, and welcome.
Hi, good morning, it's comrades. It was a pleasure to be here.
Of course, a pleasure having you guys in studio this morning. And you're wearing a different hat this morning in a different capacity.
Yes, yeah.
We're talking about the Anglican Church and, of course, the Family Day.
Which is next week.
Right, so let's get straight into the conversation. I almost said competition. You know, when they hear Family Day, you're talking about sports, you're talking about different events and people competing. But tell us about the Family Day, what we can expect, who is invited, where it's taking place, and let's go through the conversation.
Right, so Mr. Trim.
All right, so good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for having us this morning. So the Anglican Church in the Diocese of Trinidad and Tobago region, we are having our Regional Family Day. It's an event we have every year, and different parishes usually host the different the Family Day each year. This year, it's in David Parish, from which both Brother Paul and I are the evangelists. We belong to that parish, so hence the reason why we are members of the committee and hosting the event. So the theme for the Family Day is preserving our God-given unity, and basically the theme emphasizes unity and shared faith across the 4 parishes in the Tobago region. All right, the venue would be the Black Rock Heritage Park, We are expected to start just around 9 o'clock, but before that we will have registration and song service and so on, because as you started off by saying competition, we do have a competition with which parish brings the most persons.
Right.
So there's a registration process and persons are encouraged to wear their parish colours and so on. So before the service we have the registration taking place and persons will be issued armbands and their colours to represent the various parishes. The chief celebrant would be the Right Reverend Bishop Claude Berkeley. So we're going to start with a Eucharistic service in the morning. So for the first half of the family day, we're going to have a Eucharistic service. We know most of the parishioners look forward to partaking in the Eucharist, you know, the Holy Communion. So we have that to start with. Part of the service we would be licensing a new lay minister, as well as renewing the license for about 25 other lay ministers on the island. And the day will be filled with a lot of spirit-led worship. We'd have a powerful worship that morning, full of fun, games, excitement. We'll have competitions like Chow Challenge.
We start the song good.
So we have a Chow Challenge. The committee will provide all the ingredients because we don't want persons using sharp objects on the day, cutting up under competition, under that tension of competing.
Right.
So we'll do all the cutting ups and work. I mean, each parish could work with their own secret ingredient.
Right.
However, we would provide the basic fruits and so on, and each chow must have each fruit that we gave you, pineapple, cane, 5 fingers, whatever. So we'll bring everything, we'll give it to you. So you can work with the secret ingredient to make it spicy, and you can top it off, all right? We'll have like the Bible characters, name the Bible characters. We'll have a lot of fun and fellowship, real family vibes. The highlights would be, because of the venue, we were unable to have like a march pass or even a dance pass like we would normally have, you know, to showcase the parish. So what we're going to be having this year is a King and Queen challenge. So each parish would have to present a king and a queen. The rules will be sent to them, but basically a male and a female must be over 18. We will provide all the material. You're going to be preparing a gong and a crown for the queen, and a jacket and a crown for the king. But we will be providing all the material. It's going to be made from natural stuff provided by nature. So leaves and paper, and you know, so we will provide all the material. Even playing field, you have an hour and a half to prepare and present. Right? So that's going to be the high point, more or less. So basically,
I'm feeling the creativity there.
Yes.
With the chow in terms of putting in all the fruit items, and now the construction of the garments using the natural resources that we have. So I'm feeling the creativity coming out there. You know, after you pray and you ask God for the wisdom, you understand to know how to construct.
Because we're using God's creation.
That's right.
So you have leaves, you have cardboard, you have things that are around you going to Heritage Park. So using some of those items around you. And in each team, you must have 3 persons over 50 and 3 persons under 16.
Right, so it's all inclusive.
All inclusive.
I like that.
And it's 10 persons in a team.
I like the fact that you're actually engaging, because I know some events at any organization, whether it's a church or, you know, a company or whatever, when you're having a family day, you tend to see a certain group of people participating in certain events, but you've made it mandatory that we have a cross section of all the age groups, so people can participate. I like that, and I think I'm going to steal that idea. I'm going to borrow that idea for activities that I'm planning on my, you know, separate from this. But, you know, I like the fact, one, the engagement and the creativity. So it's taking place. Tell us when it is taking place.
It is next Sunday.
Right.
Next Sunday, 21st, at the Blackhawk Heritage Park. It's the Anglican Family Day. Come out. It's a faith, fun, and fellowship. So in the morning, it's really full of excitement. It's a spirit-filled worship. And then lunchtime, we have lunch. You might just get some fish brought to on the beach. You might just get some fish brought. And in the evening, we have games. We have a bouncy castle for the children, face painting, sports, musical hoops. We have some football on the beach football, all of that. So if you pray together and you play together, you will certainly stay together.
That's
and that's the excitement. So inviting everyone, we're telling the persons, wear your colors, because you have 4 parishes. I'm from St. David's, we wear red. We have St. Mary's, they were yellow. St. Patrick's, wear green.
Yes. And St.
St.
Andrews,
Andrews,
they wear blue. Yeah.
Right.
So if you're coming to support, wear color.
Yes.
Right.
Because the numbers are important for us. St. Andrews have the challenge trophy right now. And we at St. David's want to take it back. So we tell everybody wear red.
I like the friendly competition within the church, and these are things that we need in society these days. A place where families can come together, because the church comprises of families. It's a mommy and a daddy and the children coming to church, and all the families kind of coming together in a safe space, to have fun. Because if we look at society now, we're seeing where we need that coming together. We need that coming together. So of course, we applaud the efforts. Now, is this open to anybody? Because I know it's a church, it's the Anglican church hosting this event. Are you inviting people who are not members of the Anglican church to come and also be a part of and support the event?
You are correct. That's why we're here as well, We want everybody to come and be part of this spirit-filled experience. So you're invited. So if you want to come, wear color, wear red, wear yellow, wear blue.
Right.
So to support that. What Brother Hector didn't tell you is that he's in charge of health and safety.
Right.
And because of where we are, he's in charge to ensure there's safety, trying to go in the beach, look for the cars and so on. But Hector?
Oh yes, definitely. In any event, well, the Anglican Church in the diocese, we stand for a safe church. Part of our policy is to ensure safe church. And part of the safe church policy is that we ensure that everyone is safe wherever we are, whether at church or at play. We encourage safety across the diocese. So on the day, we're going to have measures in place based on the risk assessment done. We will have arrangements in place. For example, we'll have a private ambulance service on site to assist us, and we have already written to the Tobago teams, Tobago Emergency Medical Services. Yes.
Right.
So we have written to them and asked them just to provide some coverage. Now, they don't have to be on site, but in the event that we have an incident or accident and our ambulance has to leave, one of the ambulance would come on site as backup and so on. So we have contingency plans in place. We have wardens from among the region who would, overlook the area, ensuring that children don't wander into the beach or don't wander into the roadway, because we know the Heritage Park is not fully secured. It's not an enclosed. We have some hedges. We have a natural hedge, but it's porous. So we have wardens in place to ensure that persons don't wander into the roadway and so on. We have persons to manage. Well, we are going to build out the space into a fantastic venue for the event, so we're going to have persons to manage the sanitation and to ensure that we leave the environment better than we met it. So we have teams in place for cleaning up and maintaining cleanliness throughout the day and sanitation, because we don't want any transmission of diseases or any contamination of the environment and so on. So we have systems in place to manage those activities. We have arranged parking. There's some parking on site on the area, in Heritage Park area itself, and we're going to have some additional parking across by the YMCA. Our primary muster point would be close to the parking area, but we would also have a secondary muster point in the event that we have something that we have to move away from the site, across in the YMCA area as well, or by the beach sports facility area across there. So we have contingency plans in place, so persons can feel comfortable coming and partaking, because we have their interests at hand, we have arrangements in place, and everybody will be well taken care of.
This is so inclusive, the fact that you all thought of every single thing to ensure the event is an absolute success. Ladies and gentlemen, it's taking place this Sunday, the 21st of September 2025 at the Black Rock Heritage Park from 9 a.m. You want to get there, make sure you register your team, wear your color to support, and come out to have lots of fun with the Tobago Anglican family, their Family Day 2025. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to go for a short break before we continue conversations here in studio. And as we go, we invite you to help us. Share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
Coconut's Cafe, the buffet restaurant that specializes in all your tasty local dishes. For breakfast and for lunch. Breakfast includes coconut bake and sada roti, served with chokers, bull joil, and sausages in tomato sauce. Not forgetting beef and cheese pies, shepherd's pie, macaroni pie, and rice in various styles. Meat served in a variety of flavors, garden salads, and pasta salad. buds. All this accompanied by fruit juices, coconut water, your choice of a great combination to appease your taste buds. So call us today to order, as we are here to accommodate your busy schedules or if you are having a cooking day off.
This is how it's gonna go. They better look up and look, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look up and look. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show.
So guys, there are some new developments in housing in Tobago. So it's goat racing time. This is 116, the show that keeps you in the know with all things Tobago House of Assembly. Each week, 116 delivers a fun and engaging overview of the latest developments, achievements, activities, and events of our dynamic assembly. So join me. Let's dive into the Tobago House of Assembly's Week in Review right here on 116.
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
Quartz is well known as the Caribbean's largest retailer, providing consumers for generations with the very best products to enhance their homes. This year, we bring our expertise to businesses. Quartz Business Solutions will serve small, medium, and large companies with the very best products at the most competitive prices, backed by warranties and after-sales support. Hoteliers, office managers, restaurants, and so many more. Quartz Business Solutions, a brand of the Unicomer Group.
Tobago Updates Television recognizes women in business. Every Thursday morning on The Morning Show, we engage with women-owned and operated businesses from right here in Tobago. We'll discover these women, their businesses, what inspired their business, their highs and their lows, and their encouragement to you. Join me, your host, Adana Kambi, this and every Thursday on The Morning Show from 7:40 a.m. as we celebrate and encourage women in business.
Want to get better? Where to start? What kind of exercise to do? What to eat? How to get restful sleep? Need a doctor to search for root cause? Look no further. Come to Majuba Hill Lifestyle Center Foundation at our Wellness Center in Goodwood, or Food Hub in Darrow Springs, Scarborough, or Doctor's Office in Goodwood and Darrow Spring. Contact 49 Swift 4979 438.
you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back, viewers, to the Tobago Updates Morning Show. And in studio, we have a very special person, two very special people, as a matter of fact. We have the very famous professional swimmer, John Prokop, and he is ably assisted here by his good friend, Richard Conybeare, who would be a support swimmer. And we're talking about the upcoming swim around Tobago. Ladies and gentlemen, you might know Mr. Prokop. Last year, he swam from Trinidad, to Tobago.
Tobago to Trinidad.
From Tobago to Trinidad.
Yes, correct.
He swam from Tobago to Trinidad. I think it took him just about 24 hours. He was in the ocean for, but he kept going at it. And now he's trying a new challenge, the upcoming swim around Tobago. Good morning and welcome, gentlemen.
Morning. Good morning.
So, Mr. Prokop, let me get straight into it. Why it is you're looking to swim around Tobago?
Well, people asked what is next after the swim from Tobago to Trinidad, and I think it's the next logical step. After swimming from Tobago to Trinidad, I didn't want to try the same thing again, especially if I didn't end up being as lucky as I was the first time. So I thought, let me stick to home ground. And Richard and I, we do a lot of swimming in Tobago, and we don't leave Tobago very often. So we figured we would do a circumnavigation of the island to draw more attention to the wonderful opportunities that Tobago affords for wild swimming, ocean swimming. We wanted to showcase the beauty of Tobago's coastline and help to promote the island as a destination for ocean swimming.
And when is this swim carried to take place?
Well, that's a good question because we have to be very careful about planning with the weather. But we're hoping for the first half of October. In fact, we have to have the swim done before the middle of October. So as soon as we get good weather conditions, we're going to try and pick a weekend so that more people can be a part of the whole adventure. And then we're going to go for it.
So that's the next question I was going to come to. Is this something that you're inviting other persons to participate, come in the water with you, probably come alongside you in a boat, that kind of thing? Is it just the two of you?
Absolutely. If anyone sort of feels the urge and the need, then for sure, you know, more the merrier, along with pilot whales and any other sort of ocean life.
Okay. And training for something like this, what has training for something like this been like?
Yeah, that's been, well, John's done a lot more training than I have personally, but although I've been sustaining sort of my swimming for a long time, but I did get a little setback a couple of years ago when I got hit by a pirogue swimming around Booby's Rock up in Charlottesville, but that was another story. Yeah, I've sort of come back again. And I'm here to support this fella.
Okay, so swimming around Tobago, that's no easy task. Tell us, how precarious of an endeavor is this?
Well, to put it simply, it's going to be probably twice as long as the last swim. The distance between Tobago to Trinidad is approximately the distance of the length of Tobago. So we have to go all the way up the Caribbean side, leaving from Stowe, and then come all the way down the Atlantic side and get back to Stowe. So we're expecting that it's going to be a much larger challenge than the last time. However, this time we're swimming close to shore, and we're swimming around Tobago at a time of year that should afford us fairly decent sea conditions from a weather perspective. So we're not expecting to encounter the sort of aggressive currents that the Galleon's Passage is known for. So getting the exact timing is not as important this time around. However, getting good weather is going to be of great benefit. But yeah, we're expecting it to definitely go longer than 24 hours. Probably close to 35, maybe even as much as 40, depending. And if that happens, the big concern is salt tongue, which is a condition that I experienced last time. I wasn't able to eat solid food for about 4 or 5 days after the swim because of the caustic effect that the salt has on your tongue. And luckily, we have a little bit more knowledge to light our way.
He has a remedy.
Yes.
In the form of coconut oil, which apparently sort of lines the tongue and prevents that
Prevents that
issue.
from happening.
Yeah.
Or at least reduces the effects significantly. So.
Okay, so I was now going to get into like, what is the impact? Because this is something very grueling. Going 35, 40 hours, you're in the ocean, constantly swimming. You're not eating. Yeah, I don't know if you're eating or you can't eat as you would want to eat. You probably can't hydrate yourself as you would normally would if you're under that kind of strain. So just talk to us about the experience from last time and what you think the experience would be going forward in this new endeavor.
Well, last time we had a 45-minute alarm that would go off, and that would be the break time. And I'd stop, drink coconut water, a few other beverages as well, depending on the time of day, depending on if I was getting hungry or not. And obviously, CKA figs. And this time, we're planning on having the breaks every half an hour. But we're still going to stick with the same formula: coconut water, CKA figs, a bit of Ensure, some Lucozade, some Ribena, just for variety. And of course, coconut water to coat the tongue before and after feedings. And that's the plan, really, to make sure that we stay as well hydrated as possible and keep our energy levels up. And we're going to be doing this in a way that utilizes the strengths of a support swimmer system. So I'm going to be swimming, and Richard is going to be coming in to make sure that I keep my proper pace, and that if I'm starting to lag in any way, he'd be my encouragement. And then whenever Richard gets tired, he can come out of the water, and our other support swimmer, William Carr, will come in the water. He'll be fresh, and then he'll keep pace with me. And that's the plan, to keep it going like that.
Keep up morale.
Yes, indeed. Very important.
I was now going to ask you, Mr. Conybeare, if what experience you have in long distance swimming, and what is your role as a support swimmer? But we got the answer for the support swimmer. But in terms of your experience in long distance swimming,
well, prior to my accident, I was training with John to complete the swim from Tobago to Trinidad, but circumstances sort of cut that short. But yeah, I do a lot of open water swimming, and I have done for the 24 years that I've been coming to Tobago. So I'm quite comfortable. I'm more comfortable in the ocean than I am right here now. That's for sure.
You spoke about your accident, and we're very glad to see that you've been able to recover from your accident. But that raises the question of safety concerns while at sea.
Absolutely.
What precautions would be taken for this swim?
Well, it's very, very important to have the guide boat along with us, with a very experienced team, the Predator team. So we're going with exactly the same team as we did when we attempted to swim from Tobago to Trinidad. And they are very, very experienced, very knowledgeable about the sea conditions and about boat safety. And so this will be paramount, as well as we will be having a kayaker coming along on this occasion, which should make things even more efficient and comfortable and safe, because that way the boat doesn't have to come as close to us,
How do you deal with situations, because you're swimming for very extended periods? How do you deal with the development of cramps or injuries of any sort like that?
I tend to think that it is a mental journey, and it's all about sort of getting your body back to neutral, not sort of anticipating too much of the what ifs,
right.
you know, and the anxieties that come with that, and just trying to be in the middle of a yin yang state, and but if your diet's good enough and you keep hydrated and then there shouldn't be any issues. It's a long haul, and it's not sort of fast twitch muscles that we use. but yeah, I think he's capable of doing it. Yeah.
Undertaking an endeavor like this is going to be quite expensive, quite costly.
Yes.
What are you all doing, like, to raise funds to help mitigate the costs?
Oh, well, I'm really glad you mentioned that, because we have a Donate 68 page that we are asking any and everyone for small donations. When I say small, I'm talking about anything from $10 to $50 TT, from as many people as possible. We also are hoping to raise money during the swim. The last time that I swam for my personal campaigns, which were raising awareness of the devastating impacts of climate change and overfishing and pollution on our ocean, and the need to encourage and promote learn to swim programs nationwide. And this time we're taking it a step further, and we're actually going to be raising donations during the swim for our 2 NGOs which are specific to these causes. The first NGO is Species, and that's for the ocean conservation, and the other NGO is the AquaSmart Foundation, and that is for Learn to Swim. So during the swim, we're actually going to be raising money for these 2 non-governmental organizations in order to support the causes that we're swimming for.
Okay, gentlemen, do you have any last messages you'd like to tell the public, any last encouragement to come out and support before we wrap up the interview?
Well, we hope that the whole of Tobago, in whatever way that is possible, will come and support us, whether you're coming to Torbay for the start and for the finish, or whether you're going to find a good vantage point along the way to see us passing by. We're hoping that as many people as possible come out and support us, and we all work together to encourage more people island-wide and region-wide to learn to swim, and of course to develop a relationship with the ocean so that we can work together to protect and conserve it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it from Mr. John Prokop and from Mr. Richard Conibier, and they are talking about the upcoming swim around Tobago. It's supposed to take place sometime in October, before the middle of the month. You said before the middle of the month of October gets here, they will be endeavoring to swim around Tobago. It should take about 35 to 40 hours by their estimation. We wish them the best of luck. They're looking to raise awareness and raise funds for their various endeavors. And we wish you gentlemen the best of luck and protection and God's grace on the seas.
Thank you very much.
So ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately we have come to the end of our program. But before we go to our photo of the day. Yes, our photo of the day was sent in by Sergeant Emmanuel York, and this is a shot. Yes, this is a shot from Mount St. George. Did you guess Mount St. George? This is a beautiful, beautiful shot of the sunset as the sun is going down there over the mountains of Mount St. George. Before we go, we have to remind you, tonight it is on Tobago Updates. We'll be bringing live the Soca Titans auditions. Yes, Tobago Updates will be bringing to you live the Soca Titans auditions, which will be taking place at the Shore Park Complex, starting from 7 p.m. And we have a lineup here of performers who would bring a great excitement. We have Zwade, Kidani, Shikwan, Creed, Black, Jakez, Nikia, Royal, Num Num, he's a former winner, Prenzo, Mr. Soul, Tam Tam, J Impress, Frankie D, Caston Cupid, Tobago China, Shina's Story, Prince, Pucky, Burns 100, and the Tonic G Music. So those of you who want to support the culture, want to support Tobago Carnival, you could come out tonight at Shaw Park Complex starting at 7 p.m. The Soca Titans auditions will be live. Let us support our Tobago artists. Let us support the growth of the soca industry in Tobago as we try to establish the Tobago Carnival as something, a global brand. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. So that's the end of our program for today, but our programming continues. We have GMT up next. So do us a favor. Share the live, share the live, share the live. GMT is up next.
Because oncology is a illness that most people think is the end of life and oh gosh, my family member is dying, there are a lot of support for patients. Therefore, a lot of patients, relatives, friends and well-wishers follow them to clinic. The building that we now exist in is really small. We have 6 chairs in the waiting area, and then we cannot accommodate patients and relatives. If it rains, relatives have to find their cars. The sun is too hot, relatives have to find under trees. This situation was untenable. Therefore, the proposed move is welcome. I've been to the place, I've visited. The ambience is good. I know there is some construction to be done to make it fit for purpose at this time. And I do believe and I do feel that move, we will be able to enhance the care we give in various ways, because then we have space. Relatives will be able to come and sit with patients. That kind of intimate support will be there. For me, if I have to say yes or no to the move, I would have said yes in 2012, 2013, thereabout, when the population started growing. That is after we had started in 2010, and patients knew that we had services available in Tobago, and they start migrating from Trinidad. Definitely, patients, relatives would be happy. Patients would be happy. Staff would welcome, because the unit is definitely tight. You can't move a wheelchair around the unit. There's one patient toilet. The situation is not good as it is.
About 40 years ago, I got into an accident, and I got a blow, terribly stuff, and I had a scar. And I was always conscious of feeling the scar. So one day I felt it a little uncomfortable, and I started to check it, until I decided to have a checkup. The doctors and the nurses and everything, they were really nice. You could see they were operating under duress. The place was uncomfortable, inadequate, not comfortable to sit for privacy, and but because it's cancer, because you're doing it, and you want to service, you go. If it was for any other reason, you would have looked for somewhere else to go. For they needed, and they need to be approved.
This is where, for instance, if I have to speak to a family about what's going on with a patient, I have to have the patient and all the relatives in this space. It's not really conducive to that sort of conversation, especially if the news is not good. Normally after chemotherapy, we want to see you a week later to see how you're going and check your blood count, and then a lot of times that's a second journey to St. James. A lot of people would just disappear for 3 weeks, and we hope we see them when the next treatment session comes around. They would allow for patients to, one, have a bit more privacy, and even have a relative come and spend some time with them while they're doing the treatment, if the treatment is going on for hours. Having greater privacy would make people at least more at peace to know that, just because I show up at that building, it doesn't necessarily mean that this is what I have. Treatment in a more beautiful environment, a more calming environment, could only make things easier for patients. they're going through enough as it is just with the illness that system coming to grips with that.
I'm so happy to know that you are doing something about it, because it's about time.
I just want to say first thanks to God for health and strength and for delivering me from the place I was in 18 years ago. And I just want to say that this program really inspired me a lot, right? Because I started writing some songs they call gospel. And believe me, I like to share one or two with you all, but maybe I could just share one. It goes like this. God moved in a mysterious way. While we wonder, He performed. Hallelujah. God moved in a mysterious way. While we wonder, He performed. So keep on wondering, wondering, and let God perform. Keep on wondering, wondering, He can calm the storm. Hallelujah. Believe me, I just want to say thanks be to God and for His encouragement that I can move forward.
This is the voice of a changed man, never to return to the life he once had. At the recently concluded one-day interactive remedial therapy session hosted by the Probation Services Unit in the Division of Health, Wellness and Social Protection, under the theme, Leading a Law-Abiding Life in the Midst of Financially Challenging Times, 10 clients are better equipped to lead productive lives. Secretary in the division, Dr. Faith, shared a very important message with the participants.
Now, we are the Division of Health, Wellness and Social Protection. The social protection speaks about us ensuring that we work with populations, all of us, to ensure that we can withstand shocks. What are shocks? Shocks are probably the things you thought about when I first asked the question, why are you here? The thing that caused you to have, for example, a probation officer. Which is fine. Remember, that was yesterday. That was yesterday. That was yesterday. But you are where? You're in today. Which means that all of the information you gathered today, you now have the opportunity to use and to use wisely.
One participant spoke on behalf of the others that participated in the one-day program.
Before I was invited by my probation officer, I didn't really want to be a part of it because I thought that I didn't really need the knowledge on this. But as I was invited today, I learned a lot, especially from Mr. Melville. He taught me a lot. And I just hope that everybody that participated at least can walk away with something, knowing some, and hope that there could be a better person in this life.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
The energy fill the skies. I say thanks for favor.
Tobago. Are you ready to light up the night? Join us for the Lambo Credit Union's Moonlight Miles for Diabetes Glow Walk 2025.
On Saturday, November 15th at Cano Bay Nature Resort, we'll walk, glow, and raise awareness for a healthier tomorrow.
From 5:30 to 9:30 p.m. Bring your family and friends for plenty glow energy.
Registration is just $180 per person, or grab your crew of 5 for only $150 each.
Sign up online or at Lambo Credit Union branches before October 31st.
For more registration and payment details, visit lambocreditunion.com and search Moonlight Miles today.
Good morning and welcome to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. I am your host, Chanel Felix. Guys, this morning I'm excited because we're talking a bit about that 4K that you just saw there. That's the Moonlight Miles for Diabetes Glow Walk and Health Fair in 2025. That's this year. You know, this is the season of the runs, the walks, of getting out there and getting active. This morning I have the ability to sit in studio and chat with Trishelle Frank, who is the director, as well as Mr. Keegan Denoon, who is the chairman of the credit committee at the Lambo Credit Union. Good morning, guys, and welcome.
Good morning. Thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you in studio with me this morning. We're talking about this public engagement that the Lambo Credit Union is having in recognition of diabetes awareness. Tell us a bit about the overall initiative and why you felt it important to, celebrate or, just bring awareness to this topic during this time.
Okay, so I'll go first, right? So we have Miss Rose Moses, the late Rose Moses. She would have served in so many leadership capacities within Lambo Credit Union. At one point, she was the president, the secretary. She would have served on the different committees at the Lambo Credit Union. And in honor of her legacy, we decided to go forward with this 2-day initiative, which is the health fair, as well as our Glow Walk or Moonlight Miles Glow Walk in support of and raising awareness for diabetes.
Excellent. Keegan, tell us a bit about why it's important not only for members of the credit union to engage with this type of event, but for the entire general public to want to come out, be a part, support, bring their friends, bring their family to this event.
That is a very good question, Chanel. The thing about it is 12.5 to about 14.5% of our society now in Trinidad and Tobago currently suffers from diabetes. That means over 150,000 persons in our current population currently suffer from diabetes. And what we are doing as a credit union is ensuring that we have a healthier membership. Not only a financially educated membership, but a healthier membership. When you recognize that from diabetes, things like heart failure, kidney failure, and even blindness come about, you see the need for the credit union to invest in things other than financial education. And so that is why we're not only having a moonlight walk, but on Friday we're having a screening process where you can come, you can get screened, high blood pressure, diabetes, STD screening, all manner of things, just to ensure that we create a healthier population and do our part as a credit union in terms of understanding our social responsibility to the people of Tobago.
Excellent. And let's get to the fun part. That's the Glow Walk. And this is happening on the 15th of November. Tell us about the time that this is starting and what persons can expect. When is the registration open? How can persons register?
Okay, so our Glow Walk will be happening on November 15th, which is a Saturday. Registration will start at 5:30. Registration is open currently and will be closing on October 31st. So we encourage everyone to register. You can register at both branches, Lambo or our Camby branch, as well as online. So you can visit our website at lambocreditunion.com and you can visit our Moonlight Miles landing page where you'll be able to register online. We have the forms online you can download, you can print, fill it out, take it back to the credit union, any branch. Or if you choose, we have the option where you can register and pay online from your home, work, car, wherever you may be. It's easily accessible. So you can register at any point in time from now, presently, until October 31st.
Excellent. So I just did my duty. I made sure to share it on my social media platforms to ensure that all my friends know, because we are in our running season, right?
Yes.
And so we're excited for this type of activity. So tell us about, are there any prizes or is it just a run for awareness?
So we have prizes available, especially for persons. So we have different categories of prizes. The people who will win the walk overall would be awarded prizes. All participants would be given a participatory medal. However, the first male and female over 50 would be specially awarded. The first male and female under 12 would be specially awarded as well. We also have a number of giveaways from some of our sponsors. We have a number of sponsors on board like AVT General, Total Gates and Graphics, Lash TT. We also have Berry Link and so forth. So you could just imagine the type of prizes that we would be giving away along the walk. And I know, as you rightfully said, that people are in the glow up area. And so that is why you see the moonlight walk. And so we are encouraging all persons, whether age, race, class, to come out and be a part of this event in support of World Diabetes Day. And all the proceeds from this event is going back to the World Diabetes Organization to advance and ensure that we do our part as a credit union in eliminating diabetes.
Right, excellent. I'm glad that you mentioned where the proceeds are going, because I know that a lot of persons, as you indicated, the statistics of persons that, deal with diabetes, even here in Tobago. Is it that there is a foundation as well that's attached to the Lambo Credit Union that persons who are members can tap into, get resources or get funding or any type of help that might be needed if they are facing this non-communicable disease?
Okay, so at present we are in discussions with the Diabetes Association of Trinidad and Tobago. So members can reach out to that association. So we are working with them to discuss how we can contribute towards them.
Excellent. Now, back to this Moonlight Miles run. Where's the start of the run? Where is it finishing? Give us all the details. Would we be greeted with music, vibes? What time do we get to the starting point? Tell us a bit about that.
So registration starts at 5:30. We have a warm-up from 7 to 7:15. We officially kick off at 7:30. There is going to be a music truck. We are going to have a dynamic MC to keep you moving on the road. The route is from inside Canoe Bay. You come out, you make the left, come down by the roundabout, you come down by Pamela Nicholson there, and then you come down by the James Bigart, and then you make the right back into Canoe Bay again. So that's the 4K. And people might think, why 4K? But we want to ensure that all participants, whether age, are able to participate. Sometimes a 10K might frighten some persons, a 5K and all might frighten. So we put it at 4K to ensure that we include all our membership,
right,
whether 50, 60, young, old, or young at heart.
Excellent. Well, I look forward to this run a lot. Tell us about the glow aspect of it. That seems really interesting. I could just imagine just seeing a sea of people running down Canoe Bay, all glowing. Tell us about that. Is it that you get those little glow sticks and glow apparel?
Yes.
Is it that everybody's going to be in neon green? Tell us, what is the vibe going to be like?
So the name of our glow walk, it is Moonlight Miles, and I think the name gives it away, Moonlight. So we'll be under the moonlight, under the stars. Persons can expect in their package to have LED sunglasses. I mean, it's in the night, so LED shades. You have your glow wristbands. Your T-shirt is even glow in the dark as well. You have your runner's bib, and you also will get a medal. So all registered participants will be entitled to a glow in the dark medal as well. So on that route, you'll be see persons running with their glow items, their glow accessories. So we have a very nice thing to see. I'm excited about it.
Well, I'm even more excited than you, trust me. I can't wait for this, and I think it would be great for all of Tobago to participate. Is there a number that you're looking at where, okay, after 500 we're cutting off there? Is there a number for this that person should be registering as soon as possible before it sells out? Tell us.
So we are catering for 200 persons. So the first 200.
That's not a lot.
I know it's not a lot, but what we are offering is very dynamic packages, and these packages are expensive. So, and the cost is absorbed by the credit union. So the packages, what you are getting is even more value than what you're going to be paying.
Right.
And so in order for us to absorb that cost, we had to limit the numbers. And this is our first one. So as it grows, we are going to expand and so forth. And so if you are interested, today is the best day to sign up and ensure that your number and your spot is taken care of.
Excellent. But this is happening on the 15th of November, so you still have some time to get some sponsors on board. Yes. Open it up, maybe targeting 500 persons. I don't know. You never know. But it seems that persons are really excited about, that running in this season, and I'm glad to see that Lambo Credit Union is embracing that while also, taking the time to raise awareness for diabetes, which is something that a lot of persons on the island, whether they deal with it directly or it is in their family or they know someone who does. Tell us the importance of the overall awareness that is embedded in this campaign, and that the day before the fair, the health fair before, the day before on the 14th.
Well, before we get there, let me first of all thank Tobago Updates for being one of our sponsors and ensuring that they commit to reducing diabetes in Trinidad and Tobago as well. As I would have mentioned earlier, diabetes is something that is affecting so many persons in our society. And so the screening aspect is important to ensure that you could catch it early, because some people, what we recognize is that younger persons are now presenting with diabetes. A number of young persons, and it's because of the lifestyle that we live now. Long time children would have been encouraged to go outside and play, but now they are inside behind the computer, very limited activity. And so this is us doing our part in ensuring that we get our population moving again. Get your blood pumping, get the sugars burnt out and so forth, and ensure that we live overall healthier lifestyles and reduce the dependency on the healthcare system.
All right, tell us again about the prices for the packages for the Moonlight.
All right, so we have two packages that are available. We have our individual packages, which is costed or priced at $180, only $180. And we also have packages available to groups of 5, which would be $150 per person. So if you have your family, you have a group of friends, even youth groups, we encourage you to come out and register. You do not necessarily have to take the individual package. You can register as a group. And just a reminder, it is limited to 5 person. So those are our two packages that we have available.
Right. As I said, I already shared the flyer on my platform. So by the time this evening, you're probably about to get about 500 persons registered. I tell you need to open it up. The whole of Tobago wants to be a part of this run. So guys, you recognize that you have limited time to get your packages. So if you are interested, or you know someone who would be interested in being a part of this really amazing midnight glow run, this is Moonlight Miles, and this is being brought to you by the Lambo Credit Union. Now is the time to do so. You want to get those packages in, and I'm looking forward to see what's going to be in my goodie bag. Yes. Right? I'm hearing about a lot of interesting sponsors that are on board, so I look forward to only good things. Now, even as we wrap up the discussion this morning, is there anything that you want to ensure that persons know about the event and as it pertains to being a part of it?
Well, we would like to say that everyone is welcome, no matter your age. We have packages for persons that are over 18. We encourage persons who are under 18 to come out. So it's for everyone, for the family. So come out, enjoy. It's good vibes, good energy. And also be sure to visit our social media platforms, visit our website. You will find all the information, all the updates there. And you can also register. If you decide not to visit any of our branches, you can register online.
Okay, so there's a payment gateway online that you can use, or do you have to come in the branch and you can book it online and come in and pay after?
Right, you have both options. So you can go to our website and the form is there online to download. So you can download, print, fill out, take it back to one of our branches and pay at the branches. If you are a member, you can authorize to have the registration fee taken from your account, authorized, so you can do so via email, or you can make a call, or you can pay online via Tobago events. So you can go onto that platform, you will see Moonlight Miles if you search for it, and you can make your online payment there as well. And lastly, you can do a direct transfer to our bank accounts.
Excellent. And Mr. Dinu, is there anything that you want to tell the people as we wrap up this morning?
Well, let me, as I always do, advocate for the credit union. We continue to be a credit union that listens to our members, continue to be a credit union that understands our social responsibility. So I'm encouraging all Tobagonians, all anyone who is listening at the moment that is not a member of Lambo Credit Union, now is the best time to become a member of the credit union. You are seeing what the credit union is doing. We continue after 79 years to be always here for you.
Excellent. Well, guys, we want to thank you so much for being here this morning and letting all of Tobago know about the Moonlight Miles and all that this diabetes awareness campaign has to offer to the people of Tobago. And remember, you don't have to be a member of the Lambo Credit Union to participate in these events. It's open to the general public. So again, you want to visit their website, you want to visit them on Facebook or on Instagram to continue getting those updates. You never know, you might just see an update that it's open to more than 200 people, right? Guys, we're going to take a quick break right here and we'll be back after this. See you soon.
The energy fill the skies. I say thanks for favor.
Coconut's Cafe, the buffet restaurant that specializes in all your tasty local dishes. For breakfast and for lunch. Breakfast includes coconut bake and sada roti, served with chokers, buljoil, and sausages in tomato sauce. Not forgetting beef and cheese pies, shepherd's pie, macaroni pie, and rice in various styles. Meat served in a variety of flavors, garden salads, and pasta salads. All this accompanied by fruit juices, coconut water, your choice of a great combination to appease your taste buds. So call us today to order, as we are here to accommodate your busy schedules or if you are having a cooking day off.
It's a different type of thing down there. And we party till we drop down there. With a lot of pretty girls down there. Down in Tobago.
Hair goals, we've got them. At S&R Hair Fantasy, we provide a wide variety of quality hair, the latest hair accessories, adult toys, skin lightening products, female underwear, and much more under one roof. Check us out on Shelbourne Street in Plymouth or call us at 317-0808. We're open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. S&R Hair Fantasy, for queens who know exactly what they want.
Want to get better? Where to start? What kind of exercise to do? What to eat? How to get restful sleep? Need a doctor to search for root cause? Look no further. Come to Majuba Hill Lifestyle Center Foundation at our Wellness Center in Goodwood, or Food Hub in Darrow Springs, Scarborough, or Doctor's Office in Goodwood and Darrow Spring. Contact 49 Swift 4979 438.
And welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. Guys, this morning we continue our conversations, and I have the opportunity to chat this morning online with Mrs. Kay Trotman, who's the president of the Tobago Unique Bed and Breakfast and Self-Catering Association. We're talking a bit about Tobago Carnival and how that's impacting the sector, And she recently indicated that there have been a number of cancellations at a number of properties. So this morning, we're going to hear a bit more about that. Good morning, Mrs. Trotman, and welcome.
Good morning, Chanel, and good morning to your viewers.
All right, excellent. It's always a pleasure to chat with you. Well, you know, we are in the swing of things, just a few weeks away from Tobago Carnival, and a lot of properties are reporting to be fully booked with and still receiving phone calls about rooms and having to actually turn off their phones or get new phones because the calls just keep coming in, even at all odd hours of the night for rooms for Tobago Carnival. But we're hearing from you that there have been a number of cancellations at some of these properties. Tell us a bit about that, and what do you think has been one of the causal factors for this?
Okay, yes, the inquiries have been coming, and quite a bit of our properties are booked, 90% and up. But the challenge is for some of them that we are receiving recent calls that those visitors, especially from Trinidad, who would like to travel with their vehicles, are having difficulty securing tickets on the ferry. So hence the cancellation. So far, we've not gotten any concerns about the flight as yet. Let's see what happens closer to the time. But the main concern is with getting ferry tickets for potential visitors wanting to travel with their vehicles.
Okay, excellent. So now we have a clear understanding that although persons have booked their stay and are looking forward to participating in the carnival, the restrictions as it pertains to free movement between the two islands or even after getting to Trinidad has been one of the reasons for those ongoing cancellations. What about those recent bookings that have been opened up on the fast ferry? We saw that some additional sailings were added there. Has that impacted anything, or explain?
Okay, well, I know the last I knew is that the added seats were up until the 22nd, I think, and that those were sold out. So if they have put on anything else since that, I'm not so sure as yet, but hopefully that will address it. But the last of my information was up until I think the 22nd of October, that those tickets were completely sold out.
All right. Tell us a bit about the availability of rooms for the week before Carnival, because I had a conversation with the chairman of the Tobago Chamber of the Tobago leg of the Chamber of Industry and Commerce, Mr. Curtis Williams, and what he was encouraging persons to do is to come from the weekend before, because there's a long Diwali weekend. And there's a lot that's happening on the island. He's suggesting that, you know, even as property owners and businesses, that we, encourage clients to not try to not try to have it that everyone tries to come on the Wednesday before Carnival, but encouraging persons to come for a longer time. You know, do you think that this could be a practical strategy?
While we want to encourage people to come for a longer period, we also have to bear in mind that these are working people and that they have to be at work between Monday to Friday. So while we'd love to have them in Tobago from the weekend before, it may not be practical for quite a bit of persons because of their work schedule. That's for taking a vacation period that would encourage that sort of movement.
Right, and they are encouraging persons to take that week off and come to Tobago, and we hope that works out, because we want to kind of diversify the traffic that's coming in. So it's not just that on Wednesday and Thursday you can't move about because you see everyone trying to bombard the island at one time.
Well, what needs to happen, and that needs to be a deliberate plan with activities from that period all the way into the weekend. I think the last carnival, they incorporated the activities of the World Food Day. So from World Food Day into Blue Food Festival, into the carnival, it was a whole 2 weeks of activity that has to be planned for, deliberately planned for beforehand, so folks can plan to take their vacation to to facilitate that sort of involvement and engagement in the activities in Tobago during the October Carnival period.
And I believe that, something to that effect is happening because the week before is the Tobago Blue Food Festival. So there's a whole lot of events, and then you have the parties, the fetes that are happening in between. And so there's a lot that's happening in Tobago. There's no excuse to say there's nothing to do. The carnival is about to be, as Mr. Williams says, a bumper time, back-to-back events. Tell us what kind of intervention is needed as it pertains to these last-minute cancellations, and are you having the conversations with the Chamber of Industry and Commerce to advocate to Caribbean Airlines and the Port Authority on the expansion of flights and all of this? Tell us about that.
This is such a perennial problem. I don't even think there is need for new intervention per se. It's a known fact that any busy season in Tobago requires a kind of rescheduling or additional scheduling of the necessary transporting mechanism, whether by air or sea, to get to Tobago, so that folks can participate, so that the whole events that are happening in Tobago can happen. We seem to get this problem every time, so that Caribbean Airlines and the port by now knows that this is a period that they have to plan for in advance. So let's see what happens. We have to get it right at some point in time. Every year we can't be doing the same level of intervention. It's already a known fact, and it should be built into the operation schedule of these carriers.
Excellent. In the meantime, what type of contingencies are being put in place, from your side as it pertains to the Bed and Breakfast Association to work with these persons to help them mitigate against future cancellations or just managing those cancellations?
Well, I know some properties on the individual levels have been trying to work with customers in terms of acquiring tickets for them, finding ways or encouraging them especially to book earlier once dates are already set. So we'll continue to advocate that way. I know also some properties are working with other third parties that in their offering their packages, it would include airline tickets or ferry tickets within the package of the accommodation, stay, going to events, as well as the travel between Trinidad and Tobago. So I know some of our members are doing just that, and I guess they will continue to do so. And eventually we will at least hit that sweet spot.
Excellent. And, talk to us a bit about what is being expected by the sector during this time. I know there's a lot of persons coming on the island, but what is expected of the sector, I should say, because as I was saying yesterday, it's one thing to have a lot of persons coming and patronizing, filling the rooms, but if they don't have a experience that encourages them to come back, we would probably be left in a worse state than we were before, because it will be very difficult to have that reputational management done. So what are we doing to ensure that when people come, we have the service, that will encourage them to come back, and giving them that overall Tobago experience that's not just about coming and enjoying the carnival, but about really enjoying Tobago and wanting to encourage their friends and family to come, so that it makes the marketing for the festival even easier for us going forward?
Well, one of the things that we have to be mindful of, Tobagonians, Tobago has always been known to be a hospitable people. So it hurts me when I'm hearing that customer service is one of our weak points. We as Tobagonians need to get back to the place where we offer that genuine Tobago hospitality, genuine Tobago friendliness, genuine Tobago-ness that we throw out to all who come across our shores, whether they be from close by in terms of Trinidad, regionally or internationally. I think we have to pay close attention to ensuring that that genuineness, that helpfulness, that friendliness we have been known for shines even more. So that whole experience, which is authentically Tobago, allows our visitors, whether near or far, to experience that at our best. And one of the things that at least the small properties is engaged in right now is that we are looking at the possibilities of further strengthening that through what we call a cluster approach, where a group of small properties can come together, share the experiences of Tobago to our guests, introducing them to indigenous Tobago, local Tobago, opening them to areas that they may not have known before that are kind of off the beaten track. So not just the typical nylon pool, pigeon point, but opening them to experiences within the communities. So that's a project we are engaged in now between ourselves and the Hotel Association to see how we can make that work. Working not just with the accommodation sector, but with opening it up to the small tour guides, tour operators, the fisher folk sort of thing. So we believe that sort of approach, a cluster approach, can do wonders to opening and sharing that Tobago genuine hospitality with our visitors, both local, regional, and international.
Excellent. What are you looking forward to, or what is the sector looking forward to most about this Tobago Carnival? And do you think enough resources are being placed there to try to enhance the product? Do you have any recommendations?
Well, one of the things that I personally have always championed is the need to look beyond just the vacation type tourism, just one-off events. Even though Carnival happens every year, the whole experience is an event. We need to build out our tourism industry that focuses a lot more on people staying in Tobago for a longer period for other reasons beside leisure and vacation, but that in that state it allows them as well to experience leisure and vacation. I'm speaking, for example, to give some clarity, if we are able to find or open up niche tourisms in education, in sports, in even health, where people are on the island for a cause that allows them to stay beyond a typical weekend, beyond a 1 week or 2 weeks. Then, when people start staying for months at a time, we are automatically allowing them to be engaged in the vacation aspect as well, and for them to bring other people that are associated with them, their families, their friends, to visit them and experience the vacation type tourism. But I believe that the sector in itself, we need to look at, and not just the sector, but the whole tourism platform, including both the state and the private sector. We need to look at engaging in tourism that looks at longer stay, and by that, it also opens up for more short stays to happen.
Right. And the conversation continues to happen as it pertains to moving the carnival out of the hands of the Festivals Commission and the Division of Tourism and into the hands of the private sector, and Tobagonians taking greater control over the festival and the success of the festival. One of those things has to do with businesses being fully engaged in the carnival and ensuring that they also come on board to market the festival, so that by the beginning of June, July, we hear businesses starting to announce those carnival packages and the type of things that will have the conversation being circulated around Tobago Carnival from an earlier period, so that we're not just asking for millions to be spent from the Division of Tourism to have those activations. But if every business collectively uses their platform to have something that represents the fact that they want Tobago, two persons to come to Tobago for Carnival, it also benefits them. Tell us a bit about, what your association is doing to ensure that you also kind of take some of the responsibility for seeing to it that this festival is successful this year and moving forward.
Well, part of the thing, not just our association, there needs to be a level of engagement between the state and the private sector in how we transition away from the state being the major sponsor of these things into the private sector taking a hold. part of the engagement needs to look at what we'd want the Tobago Carnival experience to be, what its nature should be, what we want it to look like, be like, how we want it to impact. So that level of engagement is needed for the transitioning away from fully public sector into that area where the private sector pays more attention. While there still needs to be greater lead taken by the private sector, we also have to recognize that this whole arrangement is such that the relationship that we currently have with the state is one that has been, well, I'll say, groomed for such a long time that the sudden cut does not necessarily work in the best interest of the overall economy of Trinidad and Tobago, and especially Tobago. So that there needs to be a transition plan in terms of where we take it. So the Chamber of Commerce that has taken the lead on quite a bit of this, especially along with the accommodations and all other private sector stakeholders. There needs to be that engagement that we have with the state that says, how do we transition away from it? It cannot just be the private sector needs to take up more. There are other challenges that may be preventing that from happening that needs to come to the floor as we try to move away from a heavy dependence on government sector and the private sector taking more responsibility for these type of activities.
Excellent. And even as we wrap up our discussion this morning, is there anything that you want to say, whether it be to the policymakers or to the persons who have cancelled their trip to Tobago this morning in your contribution?
Oh, well, to the policymakers, I think every so-called challenging moment is an opportunity for us to explore something different, an opportunity for us to break old ties that may have been hampering us or hindering us, and to look for new opportunities. So while there may be challenges in some of the things that we are experiencing right now, and some of these have to do with things that are beyond our control, things that may be happening geopolitically outside of the sphere of what we can influence. I think the things that we can influence, we need to pay closer attention to and do what we can on our end of the spectrum. To those of our potential guests who are thinking of not coming, I'd like to invite them to reconsider. Tobago is worth the effort of getting here. So that I know, unfortunately, we know that a lot of last minute things happen. So both Caribbean Airlines and the port, I believe, the closer to the carnival actually happening, will do something. So be on your guard, on your lookout for that, so that you can take advantage of any seats that come on to the schedule. So don't give up. We are still looking forward to having you on the island.
Excellent. Thank you so much for being with us here this morning, Kay. And we really hope that persons keep that an open mind to coming to Tobago for Carnival, even though you have not heard about anything yet. As she indicated, there's always those last minute flights being added or last minute sailings. So, keep an open eye, keep an open mind that things can change.
People should be mindful too, Chanel, that last minute deals are not just something that we put on just because we didn't get it right. A lot of international folks do have, and travelers, airlines do have last minute deals. So anticipate that last minute deals would come on stream to get to Tobago.
Excellent. Well, guys, we want to thank you so much for being a part of this morning's conversations. Thank you for your likes, your shares, and your comments, and all that you have been doing and continue to do to make Tobago Updates the #1 broadcaster here on the island of Tobago. Again, I am your host, Chanel Felix, and have a great day.
Wake up and hear me neighbor, 60,000 people strong.